Hello and welcome to this hour-long Forrest Yoga practice. Our practice today is leading on from the last couple of classes that we've done, and it's going to be all about grounding, all about drawing up that sense of connection, that sense of stability from the earth, and channeling any anxieties, any feelings of hyperactivity or lethargy back into the earth. So we're going to just start by coming into a nice comfortable cross-legged position, or a comfortable seated position that works in your body today. And I'd like you to have the palms facing down onto the thighs, just to increase that sense of grounding through your body. Have a moment to get your alignment here. So think about really grounding down through your sit bones, and then a sense of lengthening up through the spine toward the crown of the head. So there's almost a sense that the crown of the head is being energetically drawn toward the ceiling via an invisible string here. Allow your chin to gently just tuck toward the chest, elongating the back of your neck. Start to soften into your face, your jaw, and your shoulders. And begin to arrive in your body as it is right now. Scan through and see if you can pick up on any particular areas of your body today that are feeling a little tight or tense. Noticing the energy of the thoughts running through your mind, their tone, and your general mood. Begin to allow your breath to deepen now. So with your inhalation, think about ballooning the breath down into the base of your belly. Allow it to almost inflate the torso, so you feel the rib cage lifting upwards and outwards. A sense that you're trying to breathe up into the crown of your head. And exhale completely and fully. That sense that gently at the end of your exhale, belly button draws back to spine. Maybe you have that pelvic floor engagement, that engagement of Mula Bandha. And we'll work with a little bit of visualization today. As you inhale next, think about the breath traveling all the way down your spine toward your sacrum. Imagine that you could breathe into that space around your pelvis. And as you inhale deeply, that space starts to almost radiate a kind of red light. As you exhale, imagine that light growing like roots down through your sit bones into the earth beneath you. So the roots penetrate the floor, they go all the way down through the foundations of the building that you're in and start to work their way down into the earth. And then on your next long inhale, a sense of drawing up everything that it means to feel grounded. That sense of being connected. A sense of stability. Maybe even a sense of belonging. And any unwanted or stagnant energy that's residing in your body right now, allow it to move down through those roots and back into the earth on your exhale. So your breath in draws up that sense of grounding. And your exhale sends away whatever isn't serving you right now. And the origin of that energy exchange is in our sacrum. That space where we're radiating red light. For the next few breaths, see if you can simply notice that gentle pause before you inhale. So as you get to the end of the exhale and just before the inhale, there is this moment of silence, almost a split second. And try to avoid lengthening that space, but just notice it, just tune into it. And allow that feeling of stillness and silence to completely take over your body. Moving into your Ujjayi breath if you haven't already. Allowing this breath to be your anchor into that sense of grounding during our practice. When you're ready, starting to flicker open through your eyes. So if you're sitting with crossed legs, then just change the cross of the legs, popping the opposite shin in front. And we'll begin today with a very simple side stretch. So I'd like you to rest your right hand into your lap and stretch your left arm up alongside your ear, palm of the hand facing in the direction of the floor. Take a really deep inhale and lengthen up through your left fingertips. As you exhale, ground down through left sit bone as you start to move into a side stretch here. So since right hand is in the lap, you really have to be responsible for remaining grounded through left seat. When we have the hand out by the sides of us, we can use the resistance against the floor to push back. But I want you to ground down through that left seat as though you're still rooted into the earth. And then at the same time, lengthen through the left arm to create the space through left side body. Now on your exhale, relax your neck and just let the right ear move to right shoulder. Unclench your jaw. And keep breathing as deeply as you can into left side body. Well done. On your next breath in, allow the left arm to draw you up to the top. Keep the neck relaxed. Take a big inhale. Exhale, allow right ear to fall toward right shoulder a little bit further. Ensure that the palm of your left hand is now lining up with the left shoulder. Roll the shoulder back slightly and press through the left palm as though you're opening an imaginary door with that hand. Close your eyes, turning the internal gaze into the muscle fibers along the left side of your neck. And breathe into that space. Relax bottom set of teeth from top. And start to slowly, gently make a little circle with your chin. So begin by turning your chin down toward your right shoulder. And then gently lift it up, turn it around. And just notice as you're moving, are there any spaces in the neck that need a little bit of extra help, a little bit of extra attention? So just moving back into one of those spaces and pausing there. Again, think about unclenching the jaw here. Exhale even longer to give yourself more of an opportunity to open up into that space. Excellent. The next inhale brings right fingertips onto the side of your head, gently taking it up onto the center line, and we'll take it into a twist. So left fingertips either to the mat behind you or reaching toward the top of the right hip as the right hand comes across the left thigh. Breathe in, feel as though you're grounded through the seat, but you're lengthening up through the crown, creating space between vertebrae. Breathe out, soften belly, and start to turn towards side wall. Keep the periphery of your body soft. Eyelids, shoulders, jaw. Good. One more long inhale. Exhale, coming to face the front once more. Well done. Let's take it straight to second side. Left hand in your lap, right arm alongside the ear, palm of the right hand facing down toward the floor. Breathe in and lengthen through right fingertips. And breathe out and ground down through your right seat. Feel into the side stretch in right side body as you relax the neck and allow left ear to travel to left shoulder. Perhaps close the eyes here. Soften into your belly and your jaw. Again, that sense that you're being rooted down through right sit bone into the earth. Inhale, neck release, rise up. Take right hand in line with right shoulder. Roll the right shoulder back slightly, press through the palm as though you're opening that imaginary door with right hand. Take a big breath in. Exhale through the mouth and let the left ear drop toward left shoulder. Opening up through right side neck. Pause there. Inhale up into right side neck fibers. Exhale, feel those fibers lengthening away from one another, creating space. Turning chin down to face left shoulder, very slowly. And then gently taking that circle with your chin. Nice and slow. Check in, are there any spaces in the neck where you really need to pause and just draw that breath in a little deeper? Make sure that you're not clenching the teeth as you get into that space. Good, one more deep inhale here. After your full exhale, fingertips of left hand to side of the head, gently just assist it back up onto the center line. Right hand comes behind, either to the mat or reaching for the top of your left hip, left hand to right thigh. Big breath in, lift up through the crown, soften through the shoulders, the belly, and just start to make your turn toward the side wall. Eyes remaining closed. Breath flowing through the body as deeply as you possibly can. Again, thinking of that energy exchange, inhale, drawing up from the earth, that sense of grounding. And exhale, sending down any unwanted, stagnant energies. Well done. Breathe in and face the front. Okay, so we're going to do a new ab exercise today. This one is called twisted root abs. So take a moment, make your way down onto your back and listen very carefully for this one. So once you've found yourself on your back, we're going to cross the left leg over top of right as though we're kind of sat in a chair, crossing the legs almost. And then begin to float your toes away from the floor. So if possible, you can hook left big toe behind right ankle to find like a full eagle leg. But if that's not possible for you today, that's fine. Just keep the legs crossed and the feet hovering. From here, interlace your hands, pop them around the back of your head and have both of your elbows pointing directly up toward the ceiling. Take a deep inhale all the way down into low belly and feel your low back press down into the mat as you do that. Now on your exhale, curl up your tailbone, lift up your elbows and draw your low belly down. Squeeze the inner thighs together strongly. Good. Inhale, relax tailbone and back of the head to the floor. Hold the inhale there, press low back to floor, and then exhale, curl up tailbone, lift up through elbows, squeeze low belly down and inner thighs together. Good. Inhale, release tailbone, release back of head to mat. Press low back to floor. Exhale, curl up through tailbone, lift up through elbows, squeeze low belly down, squeeze inner thighs together. Good. Inhale, tailbone and back of the head to floor. Press low back to mat. Exhale, curl up tailbone, lift up elbows, squeeze inner thighs together, squeeze low belly down. Good. Inhale, relax tailbone, back of head to floor. Exhale, curl up tailbone, draw low belly down, lift up through elbows, squeeze inner thighs together. Now this time, keep back of the head lifted. Inhale, bring your interlaced hands onto the front of your left thigh. Exhale, draw low belly down, press your hands against your thigh against your hands. Inner thighs squeeze together, belly squeezes in. 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Well done. If you need to, big stretch out. Otherwise, you could draw the knees to chest if you prefer. Whew, well done. Let's take that straight to the second side to get it over and done with. So, feet to floor, right leg over left this time. And remember, we're hovering the toes away. If it's possible, hooking right big toe behind the left ankle. Interlace your hands, pop them around the back of the head, both elbows point directly up toward the ceiling. Deep inhale to low belly. Feel the low back balloon into the floor. Exhale, curl up through tailbone, lift up through elbows, squeeze low belly down and squeeze the inner thighs together strongly. Inhale, tailbone, back of the head to floor. Press low back to mat. Exhale, curl up through tailbone, lift up through elbows, squeeze inner thighs together and really squeeze low belly down. Good. Inhale, tailbone, back of the head to floor. Press low back to mat. Exhale, curl up tailbone, lift up elbows, squeeze low belly down, squeeze inner thighs together. Good. Inhale, tailbone, back of the head to floor. Press low back to mat. Exhale, curl up tailbone, lift up elbows, squeeze inner thighs together, draw low belly down, hold. Inhale, tailbone, back of the head to floor. One last time. Inhale deeply. Press low back to mat. Exhale, curl up tailbone, lift up elbows, squeeze inner thighs, squeeze low belly down, hold it there. Now big breath in, interlaced hands onto the front of the right thigh. Exhale, press hands against thigh, thighs against hands, squeeze inner thighs together, draw low belly down as much as you can, and gently release. Well done. Take a nice big sigh out through the mouth if you need it. Again, a stretch of the arms above the head, or maybe even extending the feet away if you prefer. Okay, excellent job. Let's start to make our way up to sitting. And we're going to, I'm just trying to get this microphone right today. That's better. I'm just going to attach it to this. Okay, let's come on to hands and knees. So, bringing our forearms down to the floor for dolphin pose. Ensure that the elbows don't go too wide here. So you don't want them to be out like this. You want them to be tucked in, maybe even slightly narrower than the shoulders, because as we come up, the elbows will want to do this and we want to really hug inwards. So if you prefer forearms to ground, otherwise you can always interlace the fingers. Just choose what works best in your body today. Take a moment, big inhale, press the forearms into the mat, Almost a sense of just clawing the fingertips into the mat too as well if the hands are flat to the floor, and round up between your shoulders like you're trying to press that space between shoulders to sky. Belly draws in, tuck toes, lift bottom high like you do for downward facing dog. Nice straight spine. And then if that feels okay for you, just start to walk the toes a little closer toward your elbow so bottom comes even higher. Nice deep breaths into the backs of your legs. Relax your neck, but make sure that the crown of your head is away from the floor. Unlock your jaw. Inhale, come right up onto your tiptoes and then stretch your left leg to sky. And there's a sense that you're stretching through left toes like you want to tap them on the ceiling. Keep pressing the floor away strongly with forearms. Exhale, left toes down to the mat. Inhale, right leg high. Keep pressing mat away strongly with forearms, relax the neck. A sense of rounding the space between your shoulders towards the space in front of you. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower right toes to floor, come down onto the knees. Take a moment, you can have a child's pose, or maybe just sit back onto the heels and have a little roll out through the shoulders a couple of times. Very well done. Let's come up to the top of the mat into standing now. So finding our way to Tadasana. Any issues with your low back, have the feet about hip distance apart, otherwise you can bring the feet together to touch. Spread your fingers nice and wide, palms facing forwards. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears so the chest is nice and open here. Let's start to flow with our breath now. Inhale, reach hands to sky and take your drishti, your gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale, soften through knees, nice straight spine as we forward fold, reaching fingertips toward the mat. Look to the belly button. Breathe in, step just your right foot to the back of your mat and lower the right knee down to the floor. Low lunge, inhale, stretch the arms up either sides of the ears. Remember, you can always pop padding underneath the knee if you prefer. Exhale, squeeze into your bottom and just sink a little bit lower into your left knee here. Soften shoulders from ears, really energetic through fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, lower hands to floor, step back, high plank, hold there. Take a deep breath in, soften into your elbow creases slightly, hug them into center line. Exhale, lower both knees down to the floor, draw in the belly, chest and chin follow all the way down, squeezing elbows tight to side ribs as you lower. Inhale, low cobra variation. Walk the hands a little further forwards of your shoulder line. Grip the mat with your fingertips. Inhale, draw your heart space forwards and think about sliding the shoulder blades away from the ears here. So creating as much length through the back body as you can. Exhale, bring heart space toward floor. Hands come underneath shoulders, tuck your toes, find your way up and back, downward facing dog. So have a moment here, relax your neck. Make sure that the hands are spread super wide. You can feel the connection of the whole of your palm on the floor. So there should be no air underneath your hands. Imagine like you've got big paw prints in the sand. Again, think about that energy exchange. Inhale that sense of drawing up connection, drawing up a sense of grounding from the earth. Exhale, sending anything unwanted back down through the palms of the hands into the ground. Breathe in, step right foot between hands, this time lower left knee to the mat, and then breathe in as you stretch your arms high, low lunge. Exhale, squeeze butt, sink a little bit lower into the front knee. Big inhale all the way down into your left hip flexor. Exhale, soften shoulders from ears. Another big breath in. Exhale, hands to floor, step forwards into your forward fold, drishti to belly button. Inhale, arms wide, reach up. Exhale, arms down by side body. Excellent, breathe in, stretch the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot steps back this time, lower the left knee down. Low lunge, arms reach up either sides of the ears. Exhale, squeeze into the seat, sink a little bit deeper into front knee. This time, interlace your hands, pop them around the back of the head like we do for abs, and have a sense as you breathe in that you're trying to lengthen the crown of the head a little higher. So take any compression out of the back of the neck and out of the low spine. Draw belly in. Exhale, release your head back into your hands. So taking a miniature back bend here. But again, really thinking about keeping as much space in the back of the neck and the low spine as possible. So let the head be heavy, let the upper arms take over here. Unclench your jaw. Good. Inhale, assist the head to come back up, hands to floor, step back, high plank. Again, breathe in, soften into elbow creases, hug into center line to wrap through shoulders. Exhale, lower both knees to floor, belly in, and then come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, low cobra variation, hands walk forwards, a sense that you're dragging your chest between your arms as you lift up. And then breathe out and come all the way down. Hands under shoulders, tuck toes, downward facing dog. Big breaths in. Deep exhales. Again, see if you can reconnect with your Ujjayi breath or your deep yogic breath here. Close the eyes, turn that gaze inwards, maybe directing your gaze down into your sacrum. Down into that space that's radiating with red light. Good. Inhale, look forwards, left foot between your hands. Lower the back knee to the floor. Inhale, low lunge, arms high. Exhale, squeeze bottom, sink a little lower into front knee. As we did on the first side, interlacing the hands behind the back of the head. Gently cradle the head here, so you're almost gently lifting it up to decompress the back of the neck. Exhale, draw in the belly. See if you can just relax the weight of your head back into your hands and keep the low back nice and open as well by drawing in the tummy, and think about lifting up and out of the lumbar spine. So it's not about how far you can go back here. It's about how much can you relax your head back into your hands and at the same time remain open through the back of your neck and the low back. Good. One more enormous breath here. Exhale, assist the head back up onto the top. Hands to floor, step forwards into your forward fold. Drishti to belly button. Big breath in, arms wide, look up. Exhale, take the arms down by your side body. Excellent job. So again, if your low back is feeling a little sensitive, feet hip distance. Otherwise, step the feet together, Utkatasana, bend the knees and lengthen the arms up alongside the ears. Deep breath down into low belly. Exhale, curl under your tailbone to create even more length through the spine. Try to soften shoulders from ears slightly so you have that space between ears and shoulders. And sit the weight right back into the heels so that you can maybe even float your toes up away from the floor here, active feet. Another deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor. Inhale, step back to your high plank, pause there. Exhale, soften elbows, wrap inwards. One more big breath into belly. Exhale, coming through half or maybe full chaturanga this time. Squeezing elbows to side ribs as you lower. Inhaling through cobra or upward facing dog, sliding shoulders away from ears. And then exhaling back into your downward facing dog. Deep inhalations. Moving all the way down into low belly, into sacrum. Exhale that sense of sending energy down through the arms, through the palms of the hands into the earth. Inhale, left foot between your hands, warrior one. So both feet are grounded to the floor. Stretch the arms up alongside the ears. And remember here, you can bring the feet so that they're about hip distance apart. It's about this outer right hip being drawn forwards, the outer left hip being drawn backwards. Inhale, cactus arms, bend your elbows so that they're in line with the shoulders here. Big breath up into the center of heart space. Exhale, squeeze in your low belly and start to find a miniature back bend here. And really draw the shoulder blades back and together so that you feel a nice stretch for the back of your neck and shoulders. A sense of squeezing in, maybe into that space of tension or tightness. Good, heart rate starting to perhaps increase now. Deep breath in. Bring the hands to prayer position at your heart center. Let's step forwards onto the left foot, like a little ninja step. So the right knee will come in toward the chest. Good. I'll flip around. Moving into eagle from here. So soften into your standing knee. Cross the right leg over the top of the left. If you're wobbly, right big toe to floor. Otherwise, see if it's possible to wrap the right big toe behind the left ankle. Option to keep your hands in prayer or coming into eagle arms. Left arm underneath right, either holding shoulders or wrapping forearms. Works better if you've got one drishti spot here. So sink down nice and deeply into the knees. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. That sense of trying to stack your elbows over the top of your knees. Squeeze everything to center line. Inhale, step right foot back, think high lunge legs. So come onto the ball of your back foot. Keep the front knee bending deeply, maybe soften into back knee slightly to lengthen through your tailbone. Another mini back bend here. Inhale, press your elbows forwards into space, lift them up nice and high and allow your gaze to move toward your thumbs. Again, think about lifting up and out of low back. Deep breath in. Big breath out, keep drawing in the tummy. One more inhale. Full exhale. And then as you breathe in, come back toward the center, unravel the arms, listen carefully here. Right hand comes down to the floor on the inner edge of your front foot. Left arm stretches up toward the ceiling. Gently lower the right knee down to the mat. Untuck right toes and begin to point the right toes toward the long edge of the mat on the right side. Now from here, stretch your left leg back to find a side plank variation. Came to me in the end. And then start to lift your left foot up so that it lines up with your left hip. Flexing through left toes. Inhale, pull up through left thigh. Have a sense of your energy collecting at sacrum and then spreading out toward your fingertips and the crown of your head. Deep breath in. Exhale, spiral left hand down to the floor, lining the right ankle back up with the right knee. Keep your left leg lifted. Half chin stand variation. Squeeze elbows tight to side ribs, bring the chin forwards and down to the floor, just very lightly resting it on the mat, and stretch your left leg as high as you can. Another deep breath in. Exhale, press the mat away, lift the chest up just ever so slightly and slide forwards onto the fronts of your hip bones. Low cobra. Inhale, lift the heart, slide shoulders from ears. Exhale, heart space to floor, downward facing dog. Well done. So deep breaths in. Extend your exhalations further. Perhaps the eyes are closed. Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders. Breathe in, right foot forwards, warrior one, second side. So remember, both feet are completely grounded to the floor here. Stretch the arms up alongside the ears. Think about wrapping this outer left hip forwards so you can take your stance maybe about hip distance apart if you need to get that sense of squaring the hips to the top edge of the mat. Moving into cactus arms, inhale, bend the elbows. So think elbows lining up with the shoulders here. Inhale to center of chest. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back and together as much as you can and lift up through the heart. So it's quite a subtle back bend, but there's certainly a nice stretch in the back of the shoulders. Powerful and stable through the legs. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, hands moving to prayer position at heart center, taking our little ninja step forwards towards our transition to eagle. So left knee toward chest, soften into the standing knee slightly and cross left thigh over right. Option 2, wrap the left big toe behind the right ankle and perhaps sink a little bit deeper here. Now, left arm underneath the, right arm underneath the left this time, I beg your pardon. Either hold shoulders or wrap your forearms if you can. Think about sending the elbows up and away from you. Fixate your gaze, one still spot here, nice big breaths. See if you can sink deeper into your knees. Deep breaths in. Deep breaths out. One more. Keep the arms as they are. Step your left leg back. Think high lunge through your legs here. Have a little fiddle about. You're on the ball of the back foot. Sink nice and deep into the front knee. Remember, you can soften into the back knee slightly if you need to. Inhale, lift the elbows high. Press them away from you, taking that mini back bend. Gaze up towards your thumbs. Feel your inner thighs squeezing to center line to stabilize you here. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross the arms, left hand to floor. So listening carefully here. Left hand's on the floor, right hand reaches high. Gently lower the left knee down to the mat. Untuck the left toes. Point the left toes to the long edge of the mat on the left side and step your right leg behind you, finding your way into your side plank variation, gently floating right foot away from the floor if that feels accessible for you today. Flex through right toes. That sense of drawing up through the right thigh, sending energy into the sacrum, toward the crown of the head, out into the fingertips, into the hands. Deep breath in. Exhale, spiral right hand down to the floor. So now you're lining your left heel up with left knee again. Deep breath in. Exhale, you want to think about sending the shoulders forwards of the line of the wrist, hugging the elbows into side ribs, and the chin ever so lightly comes down to the mat. So it's almost just grazing the floor, no weight through it. Point through right toes, lift the right foot higher. Big breath in. Exhale, press the mat away, lift the chest slightly. Hover the heart space forwards, come down onto the hips to find your way to low cobra. Excellent job. Inhale, lift the heart, shoulders from ears. Exhale, melt heart space to floor, downward facing dog. Excellent job. Take a moment here, big breaths in, long, slow breaths out. Unlock your jaw. Just have a moment here to catch your breath back. Try and soften through the neck. Let the head hang heavy. Inhale, left foot between your hands. Warrior 2 this time. So ground the back heel down to the mat, sweeping the arms up and over in line with shoulders. Stretch out through fingertips, active hands. Inhale deeply. Exhale, sink down nice and low into the front knee. Now think about what the hips are doing here. Bring the right hand onto the right hip. Now you want to just check, is this right hip sticking outwards? Just very gently encouraging it inwards so that your shoulders are stacking directly over top of hips. Turn your gaze toward left hand and then float the right arm up and out behind you again. See if that changes the sensation in the hips a little bit further. And now think about the grounding through your feet in this posture. Press down through the base of each big toe and little toe and the inner and outer edges of your heels. There's a sense of lifting up through the arches, inner seams of the legs lifting, connecting you to pelvic floor, connecting you to that space in the sacrum that we're working with today. Now keep your legs exactly as they are. Flip left palm to sky, reverse warrior, left arm alongside your ear. Good, you can always take the right hand behind you if you prefer, otherwise just let the fingertips dangle. Deep inhale, see if you can sink lower into the front knee. Exhale, stretch through left hand to find more of an opening through side ribs. Move your gaze to outer edge of back foot. Relax your neck. Deep breath in as you stretch through left fingertips. Deep breath out as you sink down through the hips. Good, use your next inhale to draw you back up. Left forearm to thigh, right arm sweeps alongside the ear. There should be no weight really going through the left elbow. And if you're able to take this deeper, left fingertips can meet the mat, or you can move yourself into a bind if you prefer. Every time you inhale, think about trying to roll your chest open toward the sky. Maybe your drishti is underneath your right armpit here. Hips are pressing forward slightly, upper body's leaning back. Nice work. On your next breath out, spiral your right hand down to the floor. Another side plank variation. Come onto the ball of your back foot to start, and then come onto the knife edge of your back foot. Left foot can either be on the floor in front of the right foot or stacked on top. Keep lifting outer right hip away from the floor and stretch your left arm high. If you have any variations that you want to play around with in your legs today, please feel free to. Otherwise, just staying where you feel comfortable and where you can breathe deepest. Inhale, drawing up that sense of grounding through right foot and right hand. Exhale, spiral right hand down to the mat, come into high plank. Float right toes away from the floor here. Either taking that same half chin stand variation, or if you prefer, walking the hands a little bit closer together, bending through the elbows, moving towards a full chin stand. Sliding yourself forwards and through into cobra. Using the length of your exhale to come down, and then coming back into downward facing dog. Well done. Make sure you're still breathing here. Again, just noticing the pace of your thoughts, noticing your energies. Breathe in, right foot between your hands, warrior two, second side. So ground the back foot down to the floor, spiral the arms up and over to find your warrior two. Sink down nice and deep into front knee. Again, left hand to left hip. Just make sure that the left hip isn't sticking out like this. You're to gently draw it inwards so that you can see here now my pelvis is completely level. I can sink down a little deeper into the front knee and I'm not kind of slanty here. Shoulders stack over top of hips, arms lengthen. Look toward right fingertips. Inhale, flip right palm to sky, reach forwards, reverse your warrior. Gaze down to the outer edge of back foot. You can always wrap the arm around your back if you prefer. As we did in that side stretch at the beginning of the practice, inhale, ground down through your feet, ground down through the hips, and then exhale, create space through the right side body by reaching through right fingertips. Well done, deep inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, right forearm, right thigh, side angle. Left arm alongside the ear, sweep it around. Remember, there's barely any weight going through this right elbow, or if you're coming deeper, right fingertips to floor. If you're moving into a bind, again, you're very welcome to take yourself there. Think about turning the chest, looking up and underneath the left armpit. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. 2 more. Keep pressing the mat away with the feet, that sense of lifting energy up through the body. Exhale, left hand sweeps down to the floor. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. We're moving into our side plank variation. Then move on to the knife edge of the left foot. The right foot either stacks in front of the left or on top of. Keep lifting the outer edge of the left hip away from the floor. Stretch the right arm high. Option to take a little variation with the legs if you'd like to. Otherwise, just staying where you're comfortable. Breathing deeply here. Big breaths in, drawing energy up through left hand and foot. Big breath out, pressing the mat away. 2 more. Exhale, spiral top hand to floor, finding that high plank position. Left leg floats away this time. Remember, you can drop the right knee, come through your half chin stand. Or if you're moving through the full chin stand, walk the hands a little bit closer together underneath the body. Bend the elbows so you can rest the elbow points on the top of the hips. Sliding yourself through, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lower chest, tuck toes, downward facing. Let the head and neck hang. Relax your jaw. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh through the mouth, let it go. Inhale, soften knees, look forward, step or hop your feet between your hands, finding a seated position from here. Well done. Stretch the legs out in front, give them a wiggle. If sitting flat to the floor, you're rounding through the back, get a block or a cushion and pop it underneath your seat. Shoelace or cow face pose, bend the left knee. Stack left knee on top of right, outer edge of the foot is on the floor here. If that doesn't feel comfortable, cross legs with left shin in front. And if you're able to here, bend the right knee, bring the heel to the outer left hip. So we're going to twist from here. Left fingertips to the mat behind you. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, take the right arm to the outer left thigh as you twist. Keep breathing here. Each inhale, reaching up into the crown. Every exhale, allowing you to move slightly deeper. I'll spiral around. So you have an option here to move into a little arm balance if you want to play with one today. For this, you're going to have to start in this twisted position and the hands will come down to the floor in front of you. The palms are spread wide and are completely grounded. A bit awkward with the legs, but essentially you want to bring the sole of the left foot to the floor so that you can lift up the bottom, creating that shelf with the arms by hugging into center line. And my left thigh is going to rest onto the backs of my upper arms. I look forwards and the feet float away, maybe taking that eagle leg, tucking the left big toe behind right ankle. If you're with me, staying here for 2 more big breaths. And then gently unraveling the legs, joining our neighbors back in the twist. Inhale, coming forwards to face the front. And you have choice of transition for this next one. First one is burlesque. You can sweep the legs around to the next side, or you can do a little break dancing move, which is another favorite of mine, where we move around to the right side. So hands to the floor, spinning on the feet, coming all the way around and sitting back down again. And just make sure that you've got the right leg on top. Remember, if you're working with cross legs, right shin in front of the left. So coming into our twist on second side, right fingertips behind, inhale, right arm high, lengthen, and then exhale, twisting toward the right. So crossing your left hand over right thigh. Thinking of finding length through the spine on your inhale. On your exhale, maybe you're twisting slightly deeper. So this twisting position is the first stage of the arm balance if you want to take it. So if you're coming into it with me, again, hands flat to the floor, a good shoulder distance apart, they need to be grounded. A little bit awkward with the legs. You want to take the sole of your left foot to the floor this time. Walk yourself forward slightly. You're in that twisted position. Creating that shelf with your elbows. So you're hugging in, resting the outer edge of the right leg onto the back of the elbows and then floating the toes away from the floor. Option to take that eagle bind through the toes. 2 more deep breaths if you're with me, staying in your twist if you're not. Good, gently unraveling the legs if you're in the arm balance, meeting our neighbors back in our twist. And then inhale to face the front. Unravel your legs, soles of feet to the floor. Let's begin to make our way down onto our back. Big inhale, exhale, slowly, slowly, releasing all the way down to the floor. And just taking a moment when you arrive to feel the back of your head grounded nice and flat. Let's take our energy down with a happy baby from here. So knees drawing towards you, think soles of feet to sky, either holding onto the backs of the thighs or reaching up for the heels or the outer edges of the feet. And you can either keep it static or you could take a gentle rock from left to right. Just see what feels good for you today. Have that sense that the entire spine is being supported by the floor. Each vertebra pressing down. Well done. And let's start to take it into Shavasana now. So if you have any discomfort in your low back, you could either have soles of feet together, knees wide, or opposite, or you can stretch the legs out along the floor if you prefer. Arms by side body, or one hand on heart space and one hand on belly. Making whatever adjustments that you need to get completely comfortable and settled. Bring the rate of your breath back to normal, just naturally allowing it to return. Allow a sense of softness and release to wash over you. And take some time here just to feel held by the earth beneath you. To feel like you are being supported here. Nothing else to do. Nowhere else to be. Just completely relax. Take your time. Slowly, gently allow a deeper breath to return. Little movements through fingertips and toes. Maybe even some circles through the wrists and the ankles too. And then enjoy a full body stretch. Lengthen the arms above the head, the feet away. On an out breath, drawing both knees to chest. Rocking yourself to one side. Doesn't matter which side it is, just pause there and take a fetal position for a moment. Acknowledge all the hard work you put into your practice today. Honor yourself for stepping onto your mat in the first place. Take with you what you need and leave behind what you don't. And then in your own time, find your way to a comfortable seated position. As you arrive there, hands to prayer position at your heart center, with the chin bowing gently toward the chest. And we'll close the practice today with the sound of Om. If you're joining me, take a big breath in through your nose. Sealing the energy, prayer hands moving to the space between your eyebrows. Lengthen yourself tall. Peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words. And in front of your heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste, everybody. Well done. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. And I look forward to seeing you again on the mat very soon. Take care.